What's good, everybody? It's your boy JSX4 here, and today I kind of want to do something a little bit different this time around. Today I want to actually talk about my thoughts of the JSX4 anime VTuber series that we have running here. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie, this is like some kind of director's cut, production ass, type of behind the scenes thinking type of shit going on here. Honestly, like I said, I feel like an actual director hosting this, though. But 100%, I do want to talk about the anime and kind of just think about out loud where my brain is going with this, because it's honestly, again, really fun to create stories and do something with this. So that's mainly what this video is about. So when we talk about, first of all, the creation of the story itself, I wanted to create something, since I had Kokatsu, I wanted to create something that was pretty damn unique. Like, yeah, I could do a bunch of smashing of anime women constantly and do a bunch of, you know, random pictures that would seem pretty cool, but honestly, it would take really the fun out of doing all that stuff just by itself, if I'm being completely honest. If I'm looking at, you know, some characters and then I take them into the HFpatch studio and then just do some stuff with them, like, yeah, it's good, at least I'm getting to clap some cheeks, but like, once you do it for so long, it will just probably get boring, and I don't want it to get boring super duper quick. Not to mention, a lot of the poses are pretty much the same, which that can also be very boring at times, and that's something I didn't want to do when it comes down to it. One other thing I also didn't want to do is go into Kara Studio and just make random pictures, because yeah, I can make pictures, which is fine, but at the same time, if I'm not really going in without a solid reason why I'm doing it, then it's kind of like a pointless thing for me. So I didn't really know what to do with Kara Studio, much less the H scenes when it comes to Kokatsu Party in general. And then that's when I was like, you know what, I'm writing an anime story, why not write a story for Kokatsu and then just make it into like an actual, you know, YouTube series. And that's what I really wanted to do. And essentially, I thought this show was not going to do well, considering that all the other series that we have started on this channel does not do all that great. Like, sometimes you get views here, sometimes you get views there, but majority of the time, stuff like Rape the Waifu, MILF Hunter, which is a series I need to return back to, honestly, and any other series that I make, honestly, it doesn't really get that many views as I would think it would. But this one is different, mainly because it is different, far different from anything I've ever really done on the channel. And that's to really make a whole ass story. You know, that's something I didn't think I would, you know, go down with the path of, but if it means I can use Kokatsu in a way where it's not completely boring and I can actually have a reason to go into, you know, developing stories and using the pictures and characters for something, then sure, why not make it a story and do something with it? Because it'll give me a purpose to use Kokatsu actually and focus on dealing with things when it comes to that. So as far as the story goes, I actually like the story of what I'm writing. Obviously, even though I'm not even writing this damn story, everything that's coming out of this story is from my own brain and no written piece of paper whatsoever, honestly. So unfortunately for me, that means I have to backtrack and kind of look at the old videos to see what did I say, so I don't, you know, end up botching my own future storylines, which is something that is very easy to do. Because if someone thinks that it's easy to make a Kokatsu story and do it like this in this type of format, it's not really all that easy, honestly, considering I still don't know everything about Kokatsu either. So definitely, you know, there are some things here and there that makes everything a bit, you know, difficult and a bit, I would say, not all that easy to do, but I'm getting through it. And even with this, you know, old rinky-dink kind of computer that I got, at least it's doing the job of some of the stuff, honestly. So when it comes down to the story and the elements that's within it, personally, this is the biggest thing that I wanted to focus on, and this is something that even appears in my anime when it comes to the elements of what is used in the story, is that you're going to have lewd moments, but you're also going to have story. But my biggest thing, and this is what I want to kind of combine with it and try to figure out, is how can I combine the lewd moments with plots? Like, as a good example, as an example of a lot of people hating on it for whatever reason, you have like Tamaki from Fire Force. Sometimes Tamaki pulls out some nonsense at probably the worst possible times when people watch it, and that's what led Fire Force to unfortunately not get that much, stuff rolling with it. And probably it's the downfall of why we don't got another anime season of it. But I want to figure out a way to combine something, well, not exactly what Tamaki did, but use the lewd stuff and then put it into a plot point in some shape and form. Like, it's already a plot point considering the fact that, Jay has to smash so many women just to keep his despair suppressed down, honestly. But at the same time, I feel like there's a level of this we can go a little bit more further, but I don't want to overly lewd it. But then as the story goes on, I don't want the story just to be serious and then it doesn't get any more lewd at all, honestly. So that's the kind of the hardest trick of all of it, to be perfectly honest. And I'll go ahead and say this one part. There is actually a good bit of moments where in the anime that I'm writing, not the Koikatsu story, that the main character is going to have to suck on a girl's boob just to get some power up to, handle the problem ahead. That's an actual thing. And fun fact, actually, Ishibumi, the guy that made High School DxD, actually was going to use that for Issei to do. But he thought that was kind of ridiculous, so he just kind of scrapped it. But I kind of want to use it just to see if I can pull it off, even in serious moments. Most likely, it will take down the seriousness of what you're watching, but definitely, it doesn't necessarily have to be like an overly perverted scene. It could be a really messed up scene where you can use lewd content. But overall, my thing is trying to figure out how to balance the lewd stuff, put it in the story, maybe even put it in with a plot, and try to figure out without, overly killing it with lewd stuff or overly killing it with serious stuff. And that's kind of the balance I'm trying to figure out and work on, which is kind of the reason why I've been struggling to make a few of these new episodes. Like, especially once after this arc is done, with this whole thing that we're in now, I kind of know where to go after that because I have an idea of what I want to do. So, but it just, at the current point in time, how do I get to that point? It's like, I have a map and I know where to go, but how do I get there? What roads do I need to take down? And that's pretty much the problem where we at right now. And that's kind of the space I'm thinking about right now. Like, I would love to use, like, some aspects of lewdness into the plot. Maybe, like, I don't know, maybe like something like, oh, you have to smash in order to do X, Y, and Z, or you have to like kiss someone or suck on their boobs for, a certain reason, and that would be a way that the plot progresses without being too overly, ridiculous or take out the seriousness out of the entire show. I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out, but I just don't know what to do with that. And it's so hard to keep people entertained and pleased without, overusing one of the other things, because you know how people can be. Sometimes they can either just take the seriousness or they can just take the lewdness, but they can't accept both at the same time. And I want to find out the balance of that. And that's what this story really is, Koikatsu story. It's basically my test run before I actually go out and try to make that anime a reality, if one day I can, honestly. One other thing about this story is definitely I want to find a way to get voice actors for it. Definitely, because don't get me wrong, I like voicing this stuff, and well, I'm not even really voicing this stuff, I'm kind of just telling you what's happening. But I like telling you what's happening, and I like to go over the top with it when it comes to it, as you guys know. But I do feel like at some point there should be some voice acting. If not, if you don't like voice acting, you just want my commentary, that's fine too. But personally, I just think there should be some voice acting at some point. I mean, it's kind of weird how I had to keep doing Jinka's voice like this. Oh my gosh. And it's so weird, honestly. So definitely, I do think we're gonna have to get some voice acting at some point in the future. Also would like to get more people to see this story, definitely. Because, you know, it's somewhat of an anime, kinda. VTuber lore kinda ish, honestly. Honestly feels like it's less VTuber lore and more just VTuber nonsense. But to be perfectly honest, and to wrap up everything, honestly, I would like to see a lot more people come in and be like, you know, telling some other friends about it, like, hey, this some dumbass dude that just go out their way talking about smashing some, you know, random anime women, but for like a plot reason. They're like, or oh, bet what that series is, because someone actually asked that on TikTok, and I was like, you know, I do this type of series on YouTube, and it's actually really fun. So, you know, so hopefully one day, you know, as the channel keep growing and as we keep getting more people in, we can get some people to come through and to just take a view of the Koikatsu story. A story that I hope is believable and not too crazy that makes people leave, I guess. Really, anything can happen in a story, and that's also another element of it too. But nothing out of the ordinary has happened yet, because nothing really has gone on too much yet. And then obviously I did say that the story was going to be dark, and there is going to be a dark moment, which actually might happen maybe in the next episode or one afterwards. Maybe, we'll have to see. But definitely there will be some heavy themes going on, because I want to introduce heavy things and see if I can blend it in with, again, the lewdness and seriousness, if it's possible. But yeah, that's what I wanted to pretty much talk about with this one. Definitely, I wanted to cover this because it just seems like, you know, I wanted to give you guys, like, I guess somewhat of an inside depth look to my own brain, because I just trying to figure out, oh, where should I go with this? Do I make it this type of loot, or do I just not make it this type of loot? Do I try to go serious or not too serious with it? And trying to figure out the boundaries of where I can go with it. I should probably add some ridiculous stuff to it, just because I don't want people to be like, oh, this is a 100% serious story and we should take it 100% serious. No, things should be able to happen just because, honestly. And things should be able to happen sometimes with no explanation, even if it might, you know, risk some things. But that's just kind of the fun of the storytelling. You never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you get something and you don't know what exactly is supposed to go down, and you just have to figure out what's happening, honestly. And sometimes you have to leave it to the audience to figure things out, which hopefully that's something I could pull off. But yeah, that's definitely what I wanted to talk about for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification every out. Also follow me on Twitter, talk about my this channel, Patreon, and Ko-Fi is available as well. Until then, it's your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.